Hello, everyone,
Hi.
and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Sisterly Conversations, where we'll be discussing the topic.
And our topic is how do we feel about gender roles? So, gender roles. Okay.
Hmm.
The way I feel about gender roles, I don't really feel about gender roles. Um, for me personally, I am a 50 50 yes type thing, or not necessarily 50-50 either. I think it depends on the situation. So I know back in the day, it was known that the man would go and work, and the woman would stay home and deal with the housework or deal with the children, etc., etc. For me, that's not a thing now, and it has never been a thing since I've been an adult, even after I was married and all that other extra stuff. For me personally, I believe in sharing the household responsibilities, sharing everything, because this is the time now where both people are going out working. Um, and I believe if both people are outside of the house working, then the chores should be shared. Um, Housekeeping should be shared. Even if you have to go outside and um, like do outside chores, like for us we live in Canada, so like shoveling the snow or you know whatever else, washing the car. Like I don't see it as always a male's job to wash the car or shovel the snow or whatever. Like if I'll do my part in that as well. We'll shovel the snow. Before Tony came here to live and I was married at that time, we shared shoveling the snow, we shared washing the car, we shared household responsibilities, and now Tony's here as well. I tend to do the same thing with my sister now. We share the household responsibilities. I'm in another relationship now, obviously. My boyfriend also share the household responsibilities as well when he's here visiting or whatever. And then also in terms of um, the career or finances, we also share that as well. So it's like whoever lives in the house, you cut everything accordingly. So if everybody's working, I believe that each person should half or cut a equal portion of everything, including the rent, internet bills. Everybody pays for their own phone bill because that's your own. Any household expenses. So we would tend to decide who's gonna put gas in the car, or who's gonna do the supermarket bill, the laundry money, um, the insurance for the car. We share that. Like we just kind of share and split everything so that it could be equal, and so people wouldn't have an issue. And then also when one of us, if ever one of us happen to be down, like not working or have an unfortunate situation where we can't work for whatever reason, that the other one kind of takes up the slack, and that's how it has been throughout the entire time that I have been an adult and living on my own. I don't do 50-50 if people can't do 50-50. Like for me, if I'm the one working and the other person is not working, then I might tend to do more of the finances, but I expect the other person to do more of the household work or more of the housekeeping, whatever type thing, right? And that to me, that is fair. And it's vice versa. If I'm not working, the other person is working, then I expect them to do more of the financial, while I'll do more of the household. It kind of balances itself out because everybody gets into a situation sometimes where they might not be able to work for a certain reason. Like for example, a couple of years I was really sick due to endometriosis, and I was in and out the hospital a lot, and so I couldn't work at that time, and my sister tended to take up the slack at that time. But when I'm working and she's not working, I take up the slack in terms of the finances, or if for whatever reason money comes in from other government funds, whatever, we kind of split it in that way. So my point is to basically say, because I know I've been going on for a little bit, my point is to basically say that we don't do the you have a specific role and this person have a specific role. We share the roles, whether it is my sister, whether it is my partner, or whether it is whatever. We just split the roles however it's supposed to be split up.
Yeah, I also believe in 50-50, or maybe I should say 100-100, because it's not every time that I will be able to give 100, and my husband would have to do like, my God, take it the slack a little more than I can take it the slack,
Or vice
or
versa.
vice versa, right? I believe that if two persons are working outside of the home, then two people should be working inside of the home too. Because you can't expect to be working a whole day and then your spouse have to come home and do everything in the house too. It cannot work because then it's gonna cause um, conflict in the marriage and in the home, and things won't get done. So everybody has to pull their weight. At the end of the day, just like in sisterhood, just like in friendship, marriage is like the same thing too. Or and being in a relationship is the same thing. Everybody has to communicate. Everybody has to say what they want to do, what needs to be done, and how they can fix it. So for me, I don't believe in gender roles, especially now in this day and age where women are now seen as equal. I believe that everybody has to pull their weight, and it is all a 50-50, sorry, 100-100 situation.
Or sometimes it could be a 60-40.
Or
Sometimes it could be,
70-30.
yeah, it depends on the situation. But as Tony said, I see it as 100-100 too, because even if you can't pull your weight in one area, then you should be able to pull it in another area. So it's not just like, oh, because I can't work, um, I'm gonna sit down all day, and do nothing. And like I hear, like sometimes when we watch divorce court and stuff, I'm like dumbfounded at the fact that I there are women that are on there saying, well, I have to work all 7 hours, and then when I get home, the place isn't clean, or when I get home, there are dishes in the sink, or when I get home, it looks like a tornado ran around through the house, like it's not fair that a person's out there are working, and that goes both ways for both male and female. It's not fair that a person is out there working and doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then the other person is just pretty much living a good life doing absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
That's a problem. And then another issue that I would say is child rearing. I don't believe that it's just the the um the mom's responsibility to raise the child, or to speak to the child, or to discipline the child, or to be with the children all the time. I think is a two-way street. I think both people should play a part in that situation as well. I know there's some situations where the dad prefer the mom to be more upfront, but I think you kind of lose out by just pushing the mom to do everything where the child is concerned. Like I'm a teacher, and I remember at school, for example, um, one of my children's parents, they had a sign a farm, and I said to the parent, the dad, like, do you want to sign this farm? Because either mom or dad could have signed it, and usually mom wasn't there. Usually it would be somebody else picking up, or but at that time dad picked up. So I would say, would you like this farm need to be signed? And would you like to sign it? And he would say, no, I let mom do all that stuff. And I mean that's fine if it works for their family. That's fine. But I find that sometimes guys tend to lay back when it comes to like you know doing paperwork, or when it comes to like signing things for their children, or going forward to represent their children or whatever. They kind of tend to let mom be the one to do it, and I'm saying that at the end of the day it would be good for dad to step forward sometimes and do stuff, because there again it comes down to gender roles, where you have a lot of these situations where you think, oh, mom is the one that's supposed to do a lot of stuff. But for me, personally, I found that, if he had signed the paper, it would have been just as good as if mom had signed the paper, because parenthood is an equal type thing. It's both people are the parents, right? So, yep, I just think that both people should come forward to be a part of the child's life, regardless of what it is, whatever the situation is.
And then too, like sometimes parents, especially fathers, sometimes fathers get in trouble. Let me put that in air quotes, get in trouble a bit for some decisions that they make. So I'll give an example. I remembered when I was younger and I wanted to go by a friend of mine. She was doing like a sleepover. And my father asked no questions. He was just like, where? No, he asked a couple questions. He just asked like, does the person live? And he spoke to the family member who was going to host the sleepover or whatever. And then when my mother found out, she nearly caught a heart attack. She asked the world on one questions, and she said, "The next time you want to go somewhere, come to me, don't come to daddy."
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like certain things a mother gonna think about versus what a father will think about. So I mean, not that my father will want to put us in any danger, but there are just some things that a mother does really have to sit down and analyze. Cause not all fathers are gonna pay attention to all the stuff that a mother does too. So again, everybody has their what? Sorry, everybody has to know what works for their family, and you just gotta know what works for you. If you are okay with your husband making decisions when it comes to the children, especially in your absence, or you feel like, okay, I might have to say something about this or whatever, it all depends on the parties involved.
Yeah, but what I will say is that I believe that even making decisions on uh, children, or whatever your child is doing, or even how Tony gave that example about going on a sleepover or whatever. Personally, for me, I know that my parents, both of them, don't like sleepovers, don't like us going on. Well, when we were growing up, they didn't really like us going to sleepovers and stuff like that. But even a situation like that is a communication conversation needs to be had between both people, both parents, so that both people can be on the same page. Because sometimes when a mother goes forward for everything, then people tend to say, it's just
She's a
kind of how
boss.
society looks at the mom, because it's children, like the mom is supposed to go forward.
Right.
But at the same time, like, it's important for the dad to also play that role as well going forward, to make decisions as well. So personally, I think, yeah, it is a two-way street, just like everything else as well. And conversation should always be had. And I think when you're going into a relationship, I think these are the type of conversations that are important to have, because sometimes people just jump into relationships, and then by the time they get 2 years, 3 years, 4 years in,
Yeah.
then there's so much issues because of these conversations were never had. And then you come and you see a bunch of things that you don't really like about the person, or like about how the person is handling a situation. So things like, how do you see yourself in a relationship? Like, what part do you expect to play? Do you believe in gender roles? Do you, all these things? There are some people too, like, when you hear them, they say, oh, the man is supposed to do this, and the woman, like, they're really strict on these things. Like, back in Shakespeare time or something, like, they're very, very, like, that on these things, but rigid. But at the same time, then there with a partner that has very flexible, you know, ideas about how gender roles are supposed to be. So these are definitely conversations that are very important to have before you even go into thinking about marriage and having children and all that other extra stuff.
Yes.
So
Let us know in the comments how you feel about gender roles. And thank you for watching. Please like
share
and subscribe. Until next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.